There's more rain coming down. The price of gold fell the most in one day since 2013. It's pretty important, right? Gold lost almost 8% of its value since its recent high, and silver lost almost 12%. It would be easy to think that the run is over just by looking at those numbers. Now, you have to look back to 2013 to find hits like this in a single day. Take a step back for a moment. In this case, it makes sense to consolidate. In each of my last 4 videos, I've said that I thought there would be some kind of pullback. But the main idea behind them has always been that there's still a long way to go. Look at how the market feels when it drops 8 and 12% almost overnight. It doesn't feel like it's going to $5,000 and $70 respectively. When buyers hear this, it makes them think of a market that just blew up. It looks like you were involved in that sell-off. Those of us who weren't may be thinking if we should have been. Before we go any further, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Summit Metals. If you want to buy gold or silver, they can help you, and if you want to sell, they can too. They'll take care of you both before and after the sale. SummitMetals.com. So we need to change the way we look at things a bit. Gold dropped 12% from a number I hadn't even had a chance to talk about in a video yet. It's been a crazy run for something that doesn't move like this. Gold is still up 55% at just over $4,000. As of now, the price of gold on January 1st, 2025, was $2,624 an ounce. So we're way ahead of where I thought we would be at the end of the year. At the end of last year, I thought we'd see 40% gains by mid-year, and I said we'd see 50% gains by the end of the year. Both of those predictions were historically optimistic, and we're still ahead of them. Before we talk about what went wrong with the sale, I think we should first talk about how big the current move has been. What interests me now is how the stories about how gold and silver move are beginning to mix together. It seems like every story we hear leads to the same conclusion. Prices will go up a lot. And since prices are going up a lot, every story makes sense. The price action confirms the tale, no matter how crazy it is. I'm going to focus more on gold again, because the dynamics are different between the two, and the stories about silver tend to be a little more crazy than the stories about gold. You probably know the stories I'm talking about, global currency resets, which are kind of like, let the wild rumpus begin stories. Those are usually 90% made up and 10% real. The issue is that the price explosion makes it all seem real, which takes attention away from the important reason why it's growing in the first place. Now, I'm bringing this up because the less plausible explanations for why gold and silver are going up in price are, for even bigger gains than the crazy rise, make your case. It looks like we don't need any more, and once you believe a story that isn't true, everything that happens afterward has to fit that story. If the price keeps going up, the news is true. But if the price goes down, it can't be true. Now it has to be manipulation, because it's what's causing prices to go up. This monetary policy isn't really a mystery. As of this year, gold and silver prices have been going up because of debt and desire. They haven't been going up anymore. The dollar has been falling for months, and central banks, especially in Asia, are buying record amounts of gold. It seems pretty clear that what we're seeing now began with an easing of tensions between the US and China and continued. As a result of the technical sell-off, traders are locking in gains after a crazy month. The market has likely been high for weeks, nothing new there, but the drop was the biggest in a single day in more than 10 years. The market is once again volatile, but the long-term direction hasn't really changed. It's likely that only the traders in the room right now care about whether you should have sold or not. Whether we should have bought at $4,300 is more important. If you didn't believe the stories about global monetary crash and total reset, then you shouldn't have. If the price was $4,300 or more, you probably didn't buy everything at once at a price higher than the spot price today. That kind of thing is going to happen now, so it shouldn't worry you. People who believe in the high-stakes stories are likely to have called me conservative here before. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I just try to find real reasons for the changes we see. If you look back at what I said in 2020, I think it still holds true. At the time, most people thought that gold and silver were melting up like a rocket ship going to the moon. That wasn't the case, which is why my price predictions from 2020 to 2024 were so close. I kept my attention on the real issues, even though some people called me conservative at the time. Not the noise, and it hasn't changed this year either. It's time for me to accept that my expectations are too low. I started out expecting 40% gains, but new information has led to new expectations, so I've been changing my view the whole time. But it looks like everything I thought would happen has happened a lot faster than I thought it would. And here we are today. This is about where I thought we would be by the end of the year, even after an 8% drop. We had to go all the way up past 43.50 and then give back $300 just to get to the level I thought was reasonable at this point in the cycle. It's a pretty dramatic way to get there. No, that doesn't mean I was right the whole time. I don't know if that means the price caught up with reality or that I didn't give October's instability enough credit. When I see the price now, I don't think of it as a big drop, but we're up 55% since last year. In any case, most people will see this drop and expect more drops, no matter what story they're watching. Pay attention to that part because if they don't, they won't buy when the price of gold goes down and will wait until a year from now when it's much higher. They think, man, if only I could get gold for $4,000 an ounce again. I'm not telling anyone what to do, when to buy, and when to hold. But if you're wondering if you missed your chance to sell, that's usually just a matter of waiting. And if you're not buying because you think the trend will keep falling, remember that everyone does that instinctively, but the data doesn't support it right now. Short-term events, such as the US government shutdown and trade talks between the US and China, are still driving the general trend higher. You should watch all of them, even the Russia-Ukraine talks. But the price won't keep going down just because it has been down for 2 days after the biggest rise since 1979. If the price drop scared you, just remember that pullbacks are a normal part of every real rally. Gold has never moved in a straight line. As for starting now, nothing has changed with the basics, and a lot of what's going on right now is just noise. What matters is whether you let that mess up your plan, because those who stay realistic and look for the real causes will have a much better chance of winning. With that, let's call it a day. Tell us what you think. Do you believe the dip? Are you ready for another dip? Tell us, and while you're there, leave a message. If you liked any of this, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, and turn on alerts if you want to hear more about this. If you're still here, thanks for reading. Once more, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time every time. Watch out.